I pulled the trigger on my own life that rainy Tuesday in October, not with a gun, but with a single email that exposed my husband's affair and my best friend's embezzlement to every board member of the company we'd built together. They laughed in my face that morning, calling me irrelevant as they voted me out, but by midnight, their empires were crumbling under federal investigation spotlights. And the sickest part? I didn't feel a damn thing except the cold rush of finally being free. The boardroom on the 47th floor of the Sterling Tower smelled like overpriced cologne and desperation, the kind that clings to men in tailored suits who think they've got the world by the balls. Rain hammered the floor-to-ceiling windows like it was trying to break in and drown us all, which wouldn't have been the worst idea. I sat at the head of the table. My table, damn it, flanked by empty chairs that used to hold allies, now ghosts who'd scattered when the whispers started. Mark Sterling, my husband of 12 years, leaned back in his leather throne, smirking like he'd just won the Super Bowl. His salt and pepper hair was slicked back, tie loosened just enough to look roguish, but I knew better. That smirk hid the late nights at the office that weren't about work, the perfume stains on his collars that weren't mine. Beside him sat Elena Vasquez, my best friend since our sorority days at Yale, her red lipstick a slash of triumph as she flipped through the proxy votes on her tablet. "It's unanimous, Lydia," she said, her voice smooth as aged bourbon, laced with that fake sympathy Southern girls weaponize. "The board appreciates your contributions over the years. But Sterling Dynamics needs fresh blood. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. Jesus Christ. I'd poured my soul into this company. My algorithms that predicted market crashes before the quants even blinked. My patents that kept us ahead of the Chinese knockoffs flooding Silicon Alley. Mark and I started it in our Brooklyn walk-up, him with the sales charm, me with the code that made it all sing. Elena joined 5 years in, poached from Goldman, her finance wizardry turning our tech into a Wall Street darling. We were the power trio. Lydia the brain, Mark the mouth, Elena the money. Until they decided the brain was surplus. I gripped the edge of the table, my knuckles whitening against the polished mahogany. The room spun a little, jet-lagged from the Tokyo trip I'd just returned from, or maybe the 2 fingers of scotch I'd slammed in the elevator to steady my nerves. "Fresh blood," I echoed, my voice flat as the Kansas plains where I'd grown up, before the scholarships and the Ivy League scrubbed the twang out. "That's what you call screwing over your co-founder?" After I took the hit for that SEC mess 2 years back. Mark's smirk faltered for a split second, but Elena jumped in, her dark eyes flashing like polished obsidian. "Water under the bridge, LYD. You insisted. Said it was best for the team." She reached across the table, her manicured hand hovering near mine, but I jerked back. "Best for the team."
Right.
Because admitting Mark had cooked the books during the 23 expansion, falsifying revenue projections to snag that VC round, would have tanked us all. I'd confessed to the regulators myself, pled guilty to a misdemeanor, paid the fine out of pocket. 6 months of house arrest in our Hamptons estate, while they partied at Davos. It was my gift to them, my loyalty etched in federal ink. And this was how they repaid it? The other board members, faceless suits I'd hired, greased with stock options, shifted uncomfortably, avoiding my gaze. One coughed, muttering about fiduciary duty. Another checked his Rolex like it might save him from the awkwardness. Mark cleared his throat, standing to tower over me at 6'3", his broad shoulders filling the doorway like a Wall Street colossus. "Lydia, babe, this isn't personal. The investors want stability.
Your
Distractions lately, the therapy, the pills, it's not helping the optics." Distractions. That's what he called the depression that clawed me after the plea deal. The nights I stared at the ceiling while he snored beside me, dreaming of ways to end it all without the mess. Therapy was weakness in his world, where alphas didn't cry. The pills? Just enough Ativan to glue the pieces together for board meetings. But optics mattered more than love, apparently. I stood slowly, smoothing my pencil skirt, the one I'd bought on a whim in Paris, thinking it'd make him look at me like he used to. At 38, I still turned heads, sharp cheekbones from my Cherokee grandma, wavy auburn hair that fell just right, legs that yoga couldn't quit. But Mark hadn't touched me in months. Stability. I said, meeting his blue eyes, the ones that used to promise forever. You mean Elena's stability? The kind that comes with her riding you in the supply closet? Gasps rippled around the table. Elena's tablet clattered to the wood. Mark's face drained of color, then flushed crimson. What the hell, Lydia? That's... Save it. I snatched my phone from the table, thumbing open the email draft I'd composed at 3 a.m. in my hotel bed halfway across the world. Attachments, screenshots of their texts, hotel receipts from the Four Seasons, audio clips of Elena's moans bleeding through thin walls. I'd hired the PI on a hunch, the kind that hits you when your husband's late calls start syncing with your best friend's girls' nights. You think I didn't know? You think I wouldn't find out? The room erupted, shouts, chairs scraping, Elena hissing. You crazy bitch. Mark lunged for my phone, but I was already hitting send. Copies to the entire C-suite, the lawyers, the SEC, whistleblower line. CC, every major investor from BlackRock to the pension funds that kept our stock afloat. You ungrateful whore. Mark snarled. Close enough I could smell his mint gum over the betrayal. No one needs your money, or you anymore. You're done. Blacklisted. Finished. I stepped back, rain blurring his face through the glass behind him. Oh, Mark. That's where you're wrong. My voice was steel now, honed on Midwestern grit and Manhattan hustle. I'm just getting started. As security escorted me out, two burly guys in ill-fitting blazers, murmuring apologies, I didn't cry. Didn't rage. I just smiled, the kind that scares preachers back home. Because they didn't know about the offshore accounts, the shadow patents I'd filed under a shell corp in Delaware. The ones that held the real keys to Sterling Dynamics AI crown jewels. The ones I'd buried deep, waiting for a day like this. Down in the lobby, thunder cracked like God's own fury, and I stepped into the storm without an umbrella. Soaked to the bone, I hailed a cab to my lawyer's office on Park Avenue. File the divorce. I told him over the phone, water dripping from my lashes. And start the hostile takeover paperwork. Make it hurt. That night, alone in the penthouse that was still legally mine, I poured a glass of the 18 Cabernet we'd cellared for our 10th anniversary. The city lights flickered below, a million fireflies mocking the darkness inside me. Mark and Elena thought they'd won. They thought I'd break. But I'd been broken long before today, shattered by loyalty, rebuilt by secrets. And now I'd show them what happens when you push a quiet woman too far. The first domino fell at dawn. My email hit inboxes like a grenade. By 7 a.m., the stock ticker on CNBC was bleeding red, pundits stammering about internal turmoil at Sterling Dynamics. Mark called 50 times, voicemails escalating from pleas to threats. You'll regret this, Lydia. I'll bury you. Elena's texts were venom. How could you? After everything? Everything. Like the everything didn't include her stealing my husband, my company, my sanity. I blocked them both, then cracked open my laptop. Time to unearth the ghosts. The SEC plea wasn't just a favor. It was a chain around my neck, forged in a basement office 3 years ago. Mark had been desperate then, our expansion teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Just fudge the numbers a little, he'd begged, eyes wild over takeout lo mein. For us. For the dream. Elena had nodded, her hand on his knee under the table, a touch I pretended not to see. I'd done it, coded the projections myself, because love makes fools of the smart ones. When the auditors sniffed too close, I confessed alone, sparing them the fallout. Protect the family, I'd whispered to the mirror that night, signing away my freedom. But I'd learned. While under house arrest, scrolling dark web forums on a burner phone, I'd discovered leverage. Sterling's core AI? It ran on my proprietary neural net, licensed to the company, but revocable. I'd tucked away backups, variants sold quietly to competitors under pseudonyms. Whispers to VCs. What if Sterling's edge vanished overnight? Seeds planted, watered with anonymous tips. By noon, my lawyer, slick as a fox in Brooks Brothers, texted. Hostile bid launched. Allies on board. Vanguard, a Saudi fund. They're circling. I laughed, a hollow sound echoing off marble floors. Allies. The word tasted like ash. That afternoon, I met with Detective Ruiz in a midtown diner, the kind with Formica counters and coffee that could strip paint. He was NYPD fraud squad, built like a linebacker gone to seed, mustache twitching as he slid into the booth. Miss Hart. Lydia. And it's Sterling for now. He nodded, flipping open a manila folder. Your tip on the affair's a sideshow. But the embezzlement? Elena siphoning R&D funds to offshore shells? That's felony territory. Wire transfers, fake vendors, it's sloppy but solid. I'd fed him the docs last week, after the PI's report confirmed more than just sex. Elena hadn't just bedded my husband, she'd been bleeding the company dry, funneling cash to a Cayman account for their future. A beach house in Malibu, maybe. Or seed money for their escape hatch. Prosecute, I said, stirring sugar into coffee I wouldn't drink. But quietly. I want them sweating, not lawyered up yet.
Ruiz me, Gueri.
This personal, Lydia? Revenge plays hell with evidence chains. Personal? It was biblical. But I shrugged, Midwestern nonchalance masking the storm. Just justice, detective. American as apple pie. He chuckled, but his eyes said he saw through it. Cops always do. As he left, promising warrants by week's end, I lingered over the checkered tablecloth, tracing patterns like code. Justice. Such a clean word for the dirt I was about to shovel. Evening brought the first counterpunch. A knock at the penthouse door. Not security, but a process server with divorce papers, rushed through by Mark's shark attorneys. Adultery clause waived, the kid stammered, handing over the envelope. But asset freeze pending arbitration. I scanned it. Half the Hamptons house, alimony capped at peanuts, my stock diluted to vapor. Waived the adultery? Generous or a trap? Mark. Always the chess player. But I'd anticipated. My Delaware corp held the patents. Without them, Sterling Dynamics was a hollow shell. I texted my broker. Execute the revocation. Effective midnight. By morning, their AI would glitch, client contracts void. Chaos. Sleep evaded me that night, rain lashing like accusations. I wandered the halls, past photos of U.S. Mark and me at the Met Gala, Elena photobombing with champagne flutes. Lies in frames. In the study, I unearthed the box from house arrest, the one with my distractions. Pill bottles mostly empty. Journal entries scrawled in manic script. Why me? Why always me? Therapy transcripts, where Dr. Klein had probed gently. Lydia, codependency isn't love. It's a cage. She was right. I'd built my worth on them. Mark's validation, Elena's envy masked as friendship. But cages break. And when they do, the bars become weapons. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving. My phone buzzed, stock down 23%. Board emergency meeting called. Invites extended to key stakeholders, not me. I smiled, dialing Ruiz. Any movement? Warrant signed. Raid at noon. Perfect. Let them scatter like roaches. But as I dressed for the show, black sheath, pearls like armor, a pang hit. Not regret, but something sharper. Loneliness, maybe. Or the ghost of who I'd been. The girl from Wichita who dreamed big, not this specter plotting in shadows. No time for ghosts. Today, I reclaimed my name. Hart, not Sterling. Lydia Hart, the one they'd never seen coming. The raid went down like a bad action flick. SWAT vans screeching into the Sterling Tower garage. Agents in windbreakers swarming the lobby like ants on spilled sugar. I watched from a coffee shop across the street, nursing a latte that tasted like regret, my laptop open to live feeds hacked from building cams. Paranoia? Maybe. But in New York, trust is a luxury tax. Mark burst out the revolving doors first, face thunderous, shoving past reporters who'd materialized like vultures. Elena trailed, heels clicking fury, phone glued to her ear, probably her fixer, the one who'd buried lesser scandals. No comment. She barked at a mic thrust her way, but her eyes darted, hunting for escape. They piled into a black Escalade, tires squealing toward the Holland Tunnel.
Jersey, probably.
Safe house in Hoboken if my PI was right. I didn't follow. No need. The feds had their scripts, and mine was already in motion. By 2 p.m., headlines screamed, Sterling Dynamics execs under fire for fraud probe. Pundits on Bloomberg dissected it like autopsy photos. Embezzlement estimates at $12 million, questions about board complicity. My name surfaced in passing. Co-founder Lydia Hart, recently ousted, tips off authorities. Hero? Whistleblower? Or jilted wife with an axe? The comment sections lit up, America picking sides in the court of public opinion. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. I answered, voice cool. Hart. Lydia. Mark's timbre, ragged. What the fuck have you done? Protected my interests, I said, tracing the foam swirl in my cup. Like you taught me. A pause, heavy as the rain that had finally quit. We can fix this. Meet me. The old spot, Le Bernardin. 8 o'clock. Come alone. Le Bernardin. Where he'd proposed, oysters and champagne under crystal chandeliers. Nostalgia as bait. Why? Because I love you. The words slithered out, oily. Always have. Elena was.
A mistake.
Stress. The company's killing us.
Love.
The L word, deployed like a drone strike. I almost laughed.
8.
Don't be late. I hung up, heart pounding not from hope, but the thrill of the hunt. Trap or truce. Didn't matter. I'd go armed. With recordings, of course. Afternoon blurred into calls. My broker confirming the patent pull. Clients defecting like rats from a sinking ship. Vanguard's rep, a crisp Brit named Thorne, zoomed in. Bloody brilliant, Miss Hart. Your tech's gold. Name your terms for relicensing. To us, exclusively. 20% equity in the new venture, I countered, channeling Elena's shark vibe. And a board seat. He grinned, teeth like piano keys.
Done.
Welcome to Heart Horizon.
Heart Horizon.
It rolled off the tongue, sharp and new. By dusk, I'd inked the deal, my net worth ballooning past 9 figures. No one needed my money. They'd beg for it soon. Le Bernardin hummed with the elite, hedge funders nursing scotches, actresses air-kissing sommeliers. I arrived early, claiming our booth in the back, the one with the oyster bar view. The waiter, Antoine, remembered me. Madam Sterling? So good to see you. The usual? Hart now, I corrected, smiling. And yes, with a twist, make it dirty. The martini arrived filthy, olives skewered like tiny corpses. Mark swept in at 7:58, suit rumpled, eyes bloodshot. He slid into the booth, grasping my hands across the linen. LYD. God, you look. You. Save the poetry, I said, withdrawing. Antoine hovered. Mark ordered a double Macallan neat. He leaned in, voice low. The feds? Elena's panicking. Says you'll drop it if we settle. Divorce clean, payout generous. 50 mil, plus the penthouse. 50 million.
Peanuts to what I'd built.
But his eyes, pleading, almost boyish, tugged at the scar tissue around my heart. And the affair? The boardroom coup. Mistakes. He squeezed my knee under the table, familiar heat. We were drunk on power.
You know how it is.
But us? We're real.
Real.
The word hung, tempting. I thought of the early days. Road trips to Vegas for tech expos, him belting Springsteen off-key, me coding in the passenger seat. Before Elena, with her whispers and her curves, slithered in. My phone buzzed, Ruiz. Interrogation underway. She's cracking. I silenced it, meeting Mark's gaze. Prove it. Call off the asset freeze. Reinstate me as CEO. He hesitated, jaw ticking. The board. Fuck the board. My voice cracked, raw. It's you and me, right? Or was that bullshit too? He exhaled, pulling out his phone. Fingers flew, text to lawyers, CCing me.
Done.
Freeze lifted. Vote tomorrow. Relief washed me, dizzying. Was this victory? Or surrender? I raised my glass.
To us.
We clinked, his eyes softening. Dinner blurred, foie gras melting on tongues, stories retold with rose-tinted lies. By dessert, creme brulee cracked like fragile trust. He was laughing, hand on mine. I missed this. Missed you. In the cab home, our cab, to our penthouse, the kiss came tentative, then hungry. His hands roamed, familiar maps. Stay, he murmured against my neck. Fix it all. I did. That night, tangled in silk sheets that smelled of him, I almost believed. Almost. Morning brought clarity, cold as the coffee on the nightstand. Mark was gone by 6 note. Bored at 9. Love you. I showered off the sweat and doubt, dressing for war. Red power suit, the color of warning signs. The tower lobby buzzed. Reporters camped like commandos. Security waved me up, deference restored. Elevator to 47. Whispers trailed me like smoke. The boardroom waited, suits fidgeting, Elena absent. Mark at the head, beaming. Ladies and gents, Lydia's back. Unanimous? Nods rippled. Cheers even. Handshakes, backslaps. Welcome home, CEO. But as I took the chair, my laptop pinged. Thorne's email. Relicensing executed. Heart Horizon Live. Executed. Past tense. The revocation had hit at midnight as planned. Sterling servers were already haywire. AI models crashing. Client portals dark. Mark's phone exploded. Alerts, calls. His face crumpled.
What?
Lydia? I leaned back, savoring the scotch burn from last night. Insurance. You taught me that too. You bitch. He lunged, but Thorne's team, my team now, materialized via video link. Hostile takeover complete. Effective immediately. Chaos. Shouts, resignations tendered on the spot. Mark stared, betrayed. Why? Because you said no one needed me. I stood, gathering files. So, I built someone who did. Security, my security, escorted him out. Elena's mugshot hit the wires by lunch. Arrested, tear-streaked, denying everything. I claimed the penthouse that night, alone again, but not empty. Heart Horizon's charter glowed on my screen, my company, my rules. Victory tasted like ash and champagne. But in the quiet, doubts crept. Had I won? Or just traded one cage for another, sharper bars? Heart Horizon launched with the subtlety of a fireworks finale on the 4th, press release at dawn, TED-style keynote by noon, my face plastered on TechCrunch like a wanted poster gone viral. From betrayal to breakthrough, the subhead crowed. America ate it up, the jilted genius striking back, David slinging stones at Goliath's corpse. My inbox flooded, congrats from old Yale profs, pitches from starstruck interns, even a flirty DM from a venture capitalist in San Fran with abs for days. But the hate mail? That was the spice. Homewrecker. Ruthless cunt. Karma's coming, Lydia Hart.
Karma.
If only they knew how I'd courted her myself. 3 weeks post-raid, and the dust hadn't settled. Mark holed up in a Jersey motel, lawyered to the gills, fighting the divorce like it was Waterloo. Elena rotted in Rikers, bail denied after her suicide watch stunt, pills in her cell, note blaming me. Dramatic, even for her. The headlines twisted it. Scorned wife's revenge drives exec to despair? Pundits debated on Fox, CNN. Was I avenger or villain? Women's forums rallied, queen shit, while bro podcasts called me the ultimate ballbuster. I thrived on it, the controversy a drug sharper than Ativan. Morning started with yoga on the penthouse terrace, sun rising over the East River like a promise. Afternoons, war room in the new Soho office, whiteboards scrawled with code, a team of wunderkinds poached from Google. Thorne handled the money men, I coded the magic. Our first product? Predict AI 2.0. My neural net evolved, sniffing market manipulations before they bloomed. Ironic given my history. But nights? That's when the crept in, shadows lengthening like fingers on my throat. I'd pour wine, scroll old photos, Mark and me at Yellowstone, grizzlies in the distance, his arm my anchor. Elena at our wedding, maid of honor toast slurring affection. Lies all, but the ache lingered, a bruise that wouldn't fade. Dr. Klein called one Tuesday, voice warm over speaker. Lydia? Saw the news. Proud of you, but are you sleeping? Solid 8. I lied, staring at the pill bottle on the nightstand. Half empty now, refilled last week after a panic attack in the boardroom. Heart racing like a glitchy loop. Visions of Elena's noose. Therapies for losers document. I'm winning. She sighed, that therapist's sigh. Winning isn't breathing, Lydia. Call if you need. I hung up, popping a caplet dry. Winning.
Right.
The flip came mid-November, frost nipping the city like a warning. Ruiz phoned while I was en route to a gala. Black tie at the plaza, schmoozing Saudi princes for funding.
Heart.
Got a curveball. Elena's talking. Says you orchestrated the whole thing, the affair leak, the embezzlement docs. Claims you planted them. I gripped the town car's armrest, leather creaking. Bullshit. She's desperate. Desperate with evidence. Forged timestamps on your PI's reports.
And
She mentioned the SEC plea. Says you framed Mark originally, to control him. Framed? The word ignited old fires. I'd protected him, taken the fall. But Elena, cunning Elena, flipping the script. She's lying, Ruiz.
they deeper.
Already on it. But watch your back. DA's sniffing around you now. The gala blurred after that. Crystal clinking, small talk like sandpaper. A prince, Fod, all smiles and oil money, cornered me by the caviar station. Miss Hart, your story inspires. From ashes, phoenix. We invest. Generously, I purred, handing my card. But inside, storm clouds gathered. Framed? The audacity. Back home, I tore into the PI's files, digital vault, encrypted tight. Timestamps clean as a whistle. But Elena's reach? She'd always been the spider, webs in every corner. I called my hacker contact, a ghost from dark web days. Tracer comms. Rikers or not. 48 hours, he rasped. Price doubled. You're hot now.
Done.
Sleep came fitful, dreams of trials. Me in orange, Mark testifying. Elena smirking from the gallery. Woke sweating, dawn light mocking. Thorne met me for brunch at Balthazar. Oysters again. Irony noted. Shares up 15%. He toasted, crisp as ever. But whispers. Investors jittery about the probe. Let them jitter. I speared a bivalve, salty tang grounding me. It's noise. He eyed me over his specs. Is it? Elena's lawyer filed a civil suit yesterday. Defamation. Emotional distress. Seek 50,000 pesos. 50. Echo of Mark's offer. Coincidence? Counter with nothing. She's bluffing. But doubt nod. That afternoon, in the Soho War Room, my lead coder, Jaden, 25 and brilliant, non-binary with blue-streaked hair, flagged a glitch. Boss, predict AI's spitting anomalies. Internal sabotage. Sabotage. My blood chilled. From where? Legacy Sterling code. Backdoor looks like. Elena's signature, her vanity variable names. Of course. She'd buried it years ago, a Trojan horse for just this day. Flipping faces, always 2 steps ahead. I rallied the team. Patch it.
Now.
But as they coded, fury boiled. Betrayal on betrayal, layers like an onion of deceit. Evening brought Mark's text, first in weeks. We need to talk. Coffee? Neutral ground. Neutral. The diner where I'd met Ruiz. I agreed, recorder in my bag. He waited in the booth, gaunt, 5 o'clock shadow silvering. Coffee steamed untouched. LYD. This has to stop. Stop. I slid in opposite, ordering black. You started it. He leaned forward, elbows on Formica.
Elena. She's
Unhinged. Told me things. About the plea. You knew the books were clean, but you fudged them anyway. To tie me to you. Lies, twisting like vines. She told you that? After screwing you? After you destroyed us? His eyes red-rimmed. I loved you, Lydia.
But you.
You controlled everything. The money, the decisions. I had to break free. Break free. The words landed like punches. Was he right? Had I? The patents in my name, the accounts I'd managed, safety nets or shackles. You're delusional, I whispered. She poisoned you. He shook his head, sliding USB across the table. Listen. Her confession to me, recorded. She's flipping on you to save her skin. Says you'll go down harder. I pocketed it, heart hammering. Why give me this? Because I still care. He stood, tossing a 20. End it, LYD. Before it consumes you. He left, bell jingling like a death knell. Outside, snow flurried, early, unseasonal. I sat frozen, USB burning in my pocket. Back at the penthouse, I plugged it in. Elena's voice, tinny. Mark, baby, Lydia's the monster. I saw her alter the projections, framed you to keep you leashed. I'll testify, bury her. We run, start over.
Framed.
The loop closed, accusations mirroring. But whose truth? My hacker pinged, backdoor traced. Elena's, but triggered by her revocation code. She planned the glitch to tank Heart Horizon. Blame you.
Cunning bitch.
Flipping the board, literally. Rage-crusted. I called Ruiz. Full court on her. All docs. You sure? This escalates. Escalate. That night, alone with wine and winter wind, I cracked. Pills scattered on the counter, a roulette of numbness. 1,
2.
The room tilted, Mark's face swimming. Love or control? Avenger or architect of my own cage? Dawn found me curled on the rug, phone clutched. Missed call from Jaden. Boss? Glitch patched.
But.
Feds at the door. The flip complete. My revenge unraveling me. The feds didn't knock. They announced, bullhorn blaring through the penthouse intercom like Judgment Day on steroids. FBI. Open up, Miss Hart. I stumbled to the door, head pounding from the half-dozen pills I dry-swallowed before passing out, mouth cotton dry, regret a hammer in my skull. Jaden's warning had been prophetic. Agents in Navy windbreakers, badges flashing. The lead one, a woman with a no-bullshit bob and eyes like laser sights.
Lydia Hart.
Special Agent Navarro. We need to talk. About. I leaned on the frame, feigning casual, but my silk robe gaped, betraying the chaos. Empty bottle on the floor, snow dusting the terrace like confetti from hell. She didn't blink. Obstruction. Conspiracy. Your name's on Elena Vasquez's visitor log, 3 times last month. Care to explain? Visitor log? I'd gone once, early days, to gloat quietly over lukewarm prison coffee. But 3? Forgery. Elena's last gasp. Lawyer up, I muttered, but Navarro was already inside, gloved hands rifling drawers like I was Pablo Escobar. They took the laptop, the USB, my phones, everything but the robe. Cuffed for show, marched to a black SUV idling curbside, neighbors peeking through blinds. Paparazzi swarmed, flashes popping like gunfire. Lydia, did you frame them? Is this karma? America, devouring its darlings. Holding cell at Federal Plaza. Concrete and fluorescent hum, a far cry from Park Avenue. I paced, Ativan withdrawal twitching my fingers, mind racing code-like through scenarios. Elena's flip. Testify against me for leniency. Paint me as the mastermind. Mark's USB? Her confession, but twisted, admitting I'd orchestrated the affair to expose it later? Gaslighting on steroids. Ruiz bailed me out by noon, his face grim under the mustache. Navarro's gunning. Elena's deal. Immunity for you on a platter. Says you blackmailed her into the embezzlement. Used the affair as leverage. Leverage? I barked a laugh, echoing in the marble lobby. She started it. Her word against yours. He lit a smoke outside. Illegal, but who cared? And the SEC? They're reopening the plea. If she proves you framed Mark. Framed. The word looped, a virus in my system. Back in the cab, Snow clodding the streets, I pieced it. Elena's MO, flip, deny, destroy. But why me? Jealousy? Or deeper, that buried secret from Yale, the party where she'd cheated on her thesis, me covering with ghost code. Loyalty then, weapon now. My lawyer, upgraded to a white shoe firm, fees eating my war chest, met me at the office. Soho buzzed oblivious, Jaden hugging me fierce. We got your back, boss. But the whiteboard mocked. Predict AI stalled. Investors fleeing like Titanic rats. Countersue? I told the suits. Defamation. And leak Elena's real confession. The one on the USB. Risky, lead counsel drawled. Suspenders taut. Plays into conspiracy narrative. Do it. Risk was my middle name now. By evening, the leak hit. TMZ, then Reuters. Sterling exec secret tape. Admits framing rival CEO. Public split anew. Team Lydia trending, but justice for Elena gaining, fueled by her sob story interviews from Rikers. Lydia was obsessed. Controlled us all. Obsessed. The accusation stung, mirror to Mark's words. That night, I dreamed of Yale. Elena and me. Drunk on natty light, her confessing the plagiarism. You're the smart one, LYD. Fix it. I'd done it, coded her models, buried the traces. Sisterhood, I'd thought. But seeds of resentment, sprouting thorns. Woke to Thorn's call, boards fracturing.
Pull out. No.
Defiance my armor.
Double down.
The climax brewed over turkey leftovers. Thanksgiving alone, turkey from Zabbers, wine from the cellar. Mark texted. Truce? My folks in Connecticut.
Come.
Talk. Connecticut. Suburbs, white pickets, the life we'd almost had. Temptation nod. Why?
Truth.
Elena lied about the framing. I know you didn't. A crack in the facade.
I drove, snöslicchi 95, arta dram solo.
His parents' colonial loomed, lights warm against the dark. Mark on the porch, scarf loose, breath fogging. Hug tentative, then tight. Thanks for coming. Inside, fire crackling, his mom, silver bob, apple pie scent, hugging like kin. Dad grunted approval over football on the TV. Dinner awkward. Grace said over my atheism, but the pie thawed ice. Later, study, leather chairs, Scotch decanter. Elena's deal's crumbling, he said, firelight dancing on his face. Her lawyer says the tape's fake, deep fake audio. But I know your voice, LYD. It's real. Relief flooded. Then why the flip? Why join her coup? He swirled amber.
Fear.
She had dirt on the books, yeah, but also
us.
The rough nights. When you'd push, control the fights. I thought you were breaking me. Pushing. Controlling. Echoes again. I was scared of losing you. We both were. He reached, fingers lacing. Fix it? With me? The kiss ignited, desperate. Upstairs, guest room. Bodies remembering, whispers of forgiveness. Dawn. Tangled sheets, his head on my chest. Leave it all, he murmured. Start over. No companies, no revenge. Tempting, a white flag. But as he slept, my phone lit. Ruiz. Elena's out on technicality. Bond posted anonymously.
And
she's coming for you.
Coming.
The word chilled. I slipped out, dressing quiet. Mark stirred. Stay. Can't. Kiss on forehead. Love you. But this ends now. Back in the city, snow apocalypse. Plows stranded, sirens wailing. Heart horizon locked down. Jaden on watch. Evening. Navarro's warrant for my arrest? No. Search. They hit the office, seizing servers. Probable cause. Tampering with evidence. Tampering. Elena's ghost hand. I hold up. Penthouse fortress. Wine my sentinel. Thorn bailed. Sorry, Lydia. Too hot. Betrayal cascade. Alone. I scrolled Elena's leaked manifesto, blog post from a burner. Lydia Hart, the woman who built me to break me. Ravings. My obsession from Yale, how I'd stole Mark by design, engineered the SEC fall to bind him. Half-truths, venomous. But the comments sounds like classic narcissist and PD. Women like her ruin lives.
Ruin. Pot. Kalla.
Midnight, knock. Not feds, Mark, snow-dusted, eyes wild. Elena's at the tower.
Armed.
Says she's confessing everything on live stream to take you down with her.
Armed.
The word detonated. We raced, cab weaving chaos, arriving to cop cars cordoning the plaza. Elena on the ledge, 47th floor, megaphone ranting. Lydia framed us all. The plea, the affair, I did it for her, to expose her madness. Crowd below, phones up, circus. Mark pushed through. Elena, stop. She whirled, pistol glinting. Service issue? Stolen from a guard? Mark. She poisoned you against me. Me, on the edge of the cordon. Heart thunder.
Elena.
It's over. Come down.
She laughed. Manic.
Over? You started this, LYD. Yale, you covered my ass, but resented it. Built Sterling to trap us. The books? Your idea. To own us. Lies layered on truth. The crowd murmured, divided. Cheers for her bravery. Boos for my manipulation. Navarro beside me. Talk her down, Hart. Or we go in hot.
Talk.
I climbed, stairs burning lungs, emerging to wind-whipped rain, snow melting to sleet. Elena, dress whipping, gun loose. You came to finish it.
No.
Hands up. To end it. The truth, all of it. She sneered. Truth? You took the plea to play martyr. Blackmailed me with Yale. Pushed Mark till he broke.
Pushed.
The accusation pierced. I loved you both. Wrongly.
A beat.
Gun wavered. Love, you suffocated us. Sirens swelled. Mark shouted from the door. Her eyes flicked. Regret? Then flip. Fuck you, Lydia. Gun raised, not at me, but the void.
No.
I lunged. Shot cracked, echo eternal. She teetered, then fell, not pushed but choice. Splat on pavement, crowd screaming. I collapsed, Mark catching. You tried. Tried. But the blood, real now, pooling red, stained everything. The aftermath hit like a hangover from hell. Elena's body zipped into a bag below, her manifesto looping on every screen from here to Hollywood, twisting her suicide into my symphony of destruction. Scorned co-founder's final act. Exposes tech titans' tyranny. Screamed the Post. CNN ran psych experts dissecting my narcissistic revenge arc. The crowd dispersed in hysterics, some chanting my name like a curse, others snapping selfies with the bloodstain like it was a tourist trap. Mark held me there on the ledge, his sobs hot against my neck. But when the medics came, he pulled away, eyes hollow. I can't. This is too much. Too much. Understatement of the decade. They carted me down. Not arrested, not yet, but to a psych eval at Bellevue, Navarro's precaution, after the gunpowder residue on my hands from the lunge. Clean, the talk screen said, but the shrink poked deeper. Ms. Hart, suicidal ideation? The pills. History, I muttered, staring at cinderblock walls that smelled like bleach and broken dreams.
History.
Like the girl who'd swallowed barbed wire for love, spitting it back as shrapnel. Released by dawn. Charges pending, but public sympathy tilting my way post-stream. Elena's rant caught her contradictions, glitches in her narrative. Unstable, the Chirins called her. Villain redeemed? Or martyr manufactured? Heart horizon teetered. Stock halted, team scattered. Jaden texted, sorry LYD. Need space. Thorne ghosted. But Thorne's exit unlocked the twist. His anonymous bailout for Elena's bond? Traced to a Saudi shell, same as his funding pitch. Double agent, flipping for bigger fish. I leaked it, my last card. And by noon, his face joined the rogues gallery, SEC subpoena in hand. Mark vanished into Connecticut, his parents' colonial a bunker. No calls, no texts. Just a lawyer's note. Divorce proceeding. No contest on assets. Elena's estate sues for wrongful death. Your involvement. Wrongful. The word festered. I'd lunged to save her, but in her eyes, I'd always been the pusher. Therapy resumed. Dr. Klein virtual. Grief's nonlinear, Lydia. You didn't kill her. Didn't I? Voice cracked. I built the cage. For all of us.
She paused.
Cages have keys. You found yours.
Keys.
Plural. The evals sparked it. Elena's confession USB? Not deepfake, but edited. Mark's voiceover. Subtle splices. He'd flipped too, protecting his skin, feeding her narrative to the feds. Proof in metadata. My hacker confirmed post-release. I forwarded to Navarro. Check this. He's the architect. By week's end, Mark in cuffs, obstruction, perjury. His plea. I did it for us, LYD. To end the madness. Madness. Hours intertwined. The climax? Not the fall, but the hearing. Packed courtroom. Manhattan winter sun slanting through blinds like spotlights. Me on stand, cross-examined by Elena's brother, slick DA, grief weaponized. You profited from her death, Ms. Hart. Company valuation spiked 40% post-stream. Tragic sympathy buy-in. Profited. I met his gaze, steady. I lost friends. A marriage. My faith in people. Jury murmured, housewives nodding, brokers skeptical. Divided as promised. No one right. All shades of gray. Thorne testified next broken. Hart blackmailed me, exposed my shorts on Sterling to force the bond. Lie, but his eyes begged mercy. I didn't grant it. Mark's turn, gaunt, in orange, voice cracking. Lydia. She was the storm, but I fueled it. The books? My idea. The affair? Escape. I pushed her to the edge, same as she pushed Elena.
Pushed.
The courtroom hushed. His eyes met mine, not hate, but sorrow. Forgive me? I didn't answer.
Couldn't.
The jury deliberated 2 days, snow blanketing the city like absolution denied. Verdict. Mistrial on my charges. Elena's suicide ruled self-inflicted. No conspiracy proven. Mark, 5 years. Plea deal. Thorne, disbarred, deported.
Hart horizon.
I sold it to a non-profit. AI for good, ethics baked in. Proceeds to a fund. Women in tech, scholarships from Yale to Yale. Ending? Not happy, not tragic, just American, messy as a backroom deal. I kept the penthouse, but sold the Hamptons haunt. Too many ghosts. New life. Consulting gig in Austin. Texas drawl creeping back. Yoga on the Colorado River. Dates? 1. A rancher with calloused hands, no algorithms in sight.
But trust?
Shattered mosaic, pieces sharp. Last hook. Mark's letter from Sing Sing, postmark spring. You showed me who I pushed away. But who did you become? Enclosed. Elena's Yale notebook, my ghost code margins scrawled with her note. Thanks, sis. Oh, you eternal. Eternal. Debated in my head still. Debt or curse? America argues in comments, forums, bars. Villain or victim? I sip tea on my porch, stars wheeling overhead, and smile. No answer needed. I showed them, and in the showing found me,